afternoon and welcome back to the Ask Dr. Renee show. If you have never been here before, this show is solely here to motivate and inspire you to live the life you deserve because let's face it, we only have one life. This is it. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is the one. So, in case you've never watched the show, we've had fabulous guests. We've had bloggers, we've had rappers, we've had singers, we've had business people, lots of entrepreneurs that are killing the game, several millionaires. We've had Lisa Nichols, DJ D Nice, Kwame, Paul Carrick Brunson, Diane Valentine, just to name a few. And this person is just as amazing. So if anyone knows me, they know that I started my entertainment company, Matthews Entertainment Group and Associates, back in 2005. And so if they know me, then they know my guest. But we'll share that all with you. Please, please share the broadcast wherever you're watching it from. Please make sure you share the broadcast. And I'm going to do the same because I just realized I forgot to share it someplace, which is okay. And so please, please, please share. And if you are from the D, you need to tune in. And if you went to Cass, you need to tune in. But I will bring my guest on now. Good afternoon.
What up, though?
You so
what
crazy.
up, though?
So my guest today is Terra Twymon, and we are going to get into her story, and then you'll find out what accomplished T means and all that great stuff. So what did you want to be when you grew up, Terra?
I want to be a rapper.
Like from like little?
I did.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. I always wanted to be a rapper. You know, I started off singing because, you know, my dad, he sings. So I started off, you know, singing in the choir and everything. I remember kindergarten, I used to be singing. And then one day I saw the TLC No Scrubs video and I saw Left Eye and I was just like, yo. And I went to my mama and said, Mom, we about to do this. We about to rap. She like, you for real? And I've been in groups. I used to write songs for all my cousins. So yeah, I always wanted to be a rapper when I grew up.
I see. Okay. So when did you start, like, because you were doing a little something. What age did you start doing stuff, like, you know, shows and stuff? And
I think I started doing shows like around 10.
Okay.
Me and my friend, we tried out for the Apollo. That was like in the 6th grade. So yeah, it was like 10 or 11. And then around 12, I recorded a demo and just started performing everywhere. Like I was in the club real young, very young. And then it just kind of, you know, went from there. You know, my mom worked for an advertising agency. So, you know, they used to make us packages. They did my bios, all my graphics. So, you know, we had a little team going on.
So, I forgot. I met the child so young. How old did I meet you at?
It had to be like 14, 15. Because when did we meet? Because I'm a 90s baby. So if you could tell me the year, it was like 2005.
It was 2005.
Okay. 15.
Okay. So I went to this conference that I figured would be very cool because my sister and I had talked about we're going to throw concerts. Once she becomes an engineer and I become a doctor, we threw concerts at Michigan State and we like being backstage. So we were like, we're going to throw concerts. We're going to have a concert promoting company. This is what we're going to do. So I graduated med school in 2005 and I lived in Chicago and I was studying for my exams or whatever to do residency. And so I was like, I was reading Black Enterprise and saw that this conference called National Entertainment, NABFEM, National Association for Black Female Executives in Music and Entertainment, was coming to Chicago. And I was like, well, it's going to be right here downtown. I don't live far from downtown. I don't need to stay in a hotel. I'll just pay to go to the conference and I'll go to this conference. So I go to the conference by myself, not with anyone I knew, just went by myself. And that weekend I met Wendy Robinson. Shout out to Wendy. Wendy was Karen Taylor Bass's assistant. Shout out to Karen, who is my big sister and mentor. And I hung out with Wendy all weekend. So they end up having this big showcase at the Harold Washington Center, which, if anyone knows, was right down the street from where I lived. And so I went to that, and me and Wendy sitting next to each other. And this girl gets on the stage, and I'm sorry, but she's a little girl. So this little girl gets on the stage, and she has this D hat. And I go, she has to be from Detroit. And she like ripped the stage. And I was like, what? And so Wendy says, Renee, you should get her package. Now, mind you, I forgot to mention, Karen Taylor Bass was Jill Scott's publicist at the time. She is the person who created the campaign, Who is Jill Scott? She was Jill Scott's publicist for several albums. So Wendy is her assistant. So these people are in the game. I was like, I looked at Wendy, I go, ma'am, I don't do this. This is what you do. I don't know nothing about this. I just came to the conference to get some information, meet some people. I'm not. And she's like, but you really should get her package. It's like, so after the thing was over, I was leaving and I saw her parents and I said, let me just go talk to them. So I did. And her mom hands me the package. I'm like, okay. And so I took the package home. I sat on it for a week. And then finally I put the DVD in and watched it. And I was like, oh my God, Alicia, this girl is really good. And this package is so professionally done. And my sister's like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know, but it's just really, really like something. So I call her mom and I say, well, and I'm just thinking of some logical things in my head. Because remember, I don't do this. I am just 2005, I just graduated med school. So I'm just newly Dr. Matthews. And as a matter of fact, I'll also tell you that same weekend. And by the way, Karen Taylor Bass has been on the show. So if you want to go watch that episode, you can get that story. But you can learn about her more. But she, when we were at some event, I want to say it was at the Signature Room in the John Hancock building, she and I were sitting next to each other. And she was like, tell me about yourself or something. And I just started talking to her. And I had mentioned that I just graduated med school. And she was like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, you're a doctor? And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, then you're Dr. Renee. And I'm like, huh? Because when I tell you, my whole growing up, I was always going to be Dr. Matthews, paging Dr. Matthews. Everything's Dr. Matthews. So when she said Dr. Renee, I was like, what? Oh. And so it was crazy. After that, she was like, she gave me a look of death. Like every time I met somebody and she was standing right there, if I didn't say, hi, I'm Dr. Renee. And I'm like, because I didn't tell anyone at the conference but her and Wendy that I had went to med school and had graduated. So I was like, huh? And she's like, no, you're Dr. Renee. I was like, okay. Okay. So from then on, that's what I would say. So I literally was like, I called her mom and said, hi, this is Dr. Renee. And I said, have you guys done this and this and this? I don't even remember what those few things were, but they were just things that I just thought that they should have done or should be doing. And her mother stops me and goes, we can get a contract. And I'm like, what is this woman talking about? Contract for what? Is literally what's in my head. And I'm like, and anyone that knows me knows that I live in the future. So I was like, well, fake it till you make it. Okay. So I was like, sure. And so I don't remember what happened but I called my sister and I go, Sissy, she wants a contract. We have a company. We need a name. We need a logo. I know that Kyle can do our logo. My cousin Kyle, who's our graphic designer, he can do our logo. We got to give him a name first so then he can create it. So my sister comes up with, oh, we can be Mega, Matthews Entertainment Group and Associates. Live big, dream bigger, Mega. So that was our tagline. So literally after that conversation, not even like 2 weeks later, maybe 3, it might have been 3, I find this gig in Philly. And it's at Eve, as in the rapper Eve. And God, shout out to Eve. She just had a baby. Cute baby boy. Eve, her stepfather, he is a fashion designer. And if I could think of that man's name, I'd be doing really well. Do you remember? Thomas, I want to say, but I can't think of his last name. But her dad's a fashion designer. He has this huge fashion show every year. And they were looking for acts for the fashion show. So they wanted to audition. So I sent them a message and I said, I have an artist, but for her to fly to Philly to audition, she's not going to be able to fly back to Philly to perform for the fashion show. So the lady was like, well, send us a video. So I did. The woman emailed me. I swear I just hit send. Oh, we want her. I'm like, what? She was like, she's booked. Can you get her here? I was like, I'm gonna work on that. And so I called her mom and I told my sister, and I was like, these people are gonna think I'm completely crazy. And her mother's like, we'll make it happen. I was like, okay. So they had to go to Philly. My sister lived in Delaware. She the other half of the company. I called my sister. I said, well, they're coming. Alicia goes, you're coming too, right? I go, why would I come? You're already there. Renee, I said, you'll be fine. So my sister I gave her the itinerary. I said, you got to pick them up from the airport. You're going to have to take care of them. Make sure they get to the thing. Alicia's like, okay. So this is the funniest thing. So Alicia picks up these two. Danny is her mother. Danny and Terra. She picks them up. Alicia calls me and says, Renee, that child has not said 2 words since she's got here. We are in trouble. I was laughing so hard. I was like, Alicia, I promise we're not in trouble. She's like, Renee, I don't know what you were thinking, but this was not a good idea. I was like, no, I know what I'm doing. I don't know really what I'm doing, but I kind of know what I'm doing. I promise you, the girl's going to blow you away. Alicia goes, I don't see it. I don't see it. This girl has not said hello barely. Like, I can't see this girl getting on stage in front of people. It's just me in the car. I said, well, I'm sure she'll be fine. My sister literally calls me while I think Terra was still on stage. It is so loud. Oh my God. Oh my God. I said, I told you, you'd be fine. She was like, she's amazing. She goes, Renee, they love her. The crowd loves her. Her dad, she done made her go on stage again. She done met Eve. Moni Love is one of the hosts. Moni is like, oh my God, who's this girl? Oh, I said, see, I told you, you was very worried. I told you. I knew
when I first meet people, I just first of all, I'm 15.
But I told her, wait. But I told Alicia, I go, Alicia, she is very much like you. Terra and Alicia's birthdays are days apart. Terra's is January 23rd. Alicia's is February 12th. I don't do zodiac signs and stuff, but apparently Aquarians act a certain way because Terra is my sister. My sister played basketball. Who plays basketball? My sister loved Left Eye. Who loves Left Eye? My sister is quiet as a church mouse until she knows who and what is going on. Then she got a whole
lot to say. Right. And that's the thing. When I first meet people, you got to feel the room, feel the vibes. But once you get to know me, I'm very silly. I'm a very crazy person. But that first introduction is just like, okay, let me see what you about. Let me see the vibes up in here. But I do remember that show. That show, I think we tape everything.
Yes.
So it's in the archive somewhere. But I do remember that show and the fashion show. I think I have pictures too. They somewhere.
But yeah, so it was so funny. I was just like, Alicia, I told you. Alicia goes, Renee, she is amazing. I said, I told you, Alicia, I know what I'm doing as far as seeing talent. Hell, I was a triple threat. I am a triple threat. I know what people look like when they know what they're doing. The girl know what she's doing. Alicia was like, you're right. Okay, we're good. I'm like, we're good. We'll be fine. So Terra went to Cast Tech with Big Sean at the time. But I'm like, Terra, I don't understand you. She's like, I don't just rap in the cafeteria and did it. I'm like, why not? But okay. So I said, well, this is what we're going to do. Because I knew enough. Well, the other thing is I had Umi in my ear, and I'm trying to remember. We had technical difficulty. I don't think Umi's been on the show yet, but anyone that doesn't know, Umi is Mos Def, a.k.a. Yasin Bey, his mom.
Yeah.
And so she was always in my ear because I literally was calling her every week. Okay, Umi, what do I do? Okay, Umi, what do I do? So Umi was very, very, very helpful to me. And so I said, so we were like, we needed to conquer Detroit before we could take over everything else. So I was like, I guess I need to start talking to the radio stations. So I called JLB, and that's when I met. I don't even, and mind you, guys, I didn't live in Detroit at the time. I'm living in Chicago at the time. So I don't even know how these people were taking my calls and stuff, but they were. And, but DJ DDT, who is still my boy, and excuse me, you know what? We should have sent this to Keith, but, DJ DDT, and then because he was at JLB, and that's where Keith was. Who else was on the radio with Keith? It was two of them that did the show together.
Well, Keith was on Hot 107.5. He was on Hot.
Oh, Keith was
and
on
I
Hot
think
107.5?
DDT.
And DDT,
Yeah,
I know
Hot
was on JLB.
Yeah, he was on WJLB. I know Sharon on WJLB.
WJLB.
Big Dog Blast. Bushman, WJLB. And then the Hot was Keith, Sugar Ray.
No, but who was the dude that was with Keith? It was two dudes. Remember, they had the show together. And
you're right. Oh, I'm drawing a blank.
He's in Ohio now, and I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Yeah, it was that they was called the Hot Boys. They was called Hot Boys.
But
I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, but so Keith, who is now Rodney, he's so crazy. But he was a DJ, and like I said, once again, I don't know how these people was taking my calls, but they was taking them, and they would have her. They'd had her at the station. They started playing her songs, and before that, even weren't you on the TV thing before that? The digital thing.
What TV thing?
The videos, remember, and the musical.
Oh, you did that with Music Choice. You did that with Music Choice.
Thank you.
What,
so
that
I
Hurricane. That.
Yeah. So Music Choice. I remember I sent the email, and the lady called me, and she was like, "Your email said doctor." Of course, I opened it. I was like, "Oh, okay." And then she's like, "Send me her music." So I just sent it, and she goes, "I trusted you," because she had not heard it. And she's like, "We're going to put it on." And she goes, "I trusted that everything would be fine." I was like, "Thank you." And so then we just kept submitting all her stuff to Music Choice. So if you guys remember Music Choice, I don't think they have it anymore. I don't know, because I don't have cable. But at the end of cable, like the larger numbers, they had these channels that played music. They actually do still have it now I think about it. I've been to somebody's house, but they played music, and they played Terra's music. And they used to have facts up there. Remember, they had facts about the people or stuff. But that was so her stuff was up there. And then do you remember the first time you heard your stuff on the radio?
I think the first time I heard myself on the radio, the first song was like Ponytail. I Know I Look Good. That was that was the first time, and I'm trying to think. I think I was actually at home, and it was just so random, and somebody called me like, "I think you on the radio," and I turned it on, and I started crying like, "That is me." Yeah, so somebody called me, was like, "Yeah, you on the radio?" I'm like, "No, I'm not," and I was on the radio. Yeah.
So once again, because I didn't live here, I was like, never would I hear her on the radio. But I came home for some holiday, and I was in the car with my best friend Salam, and she was so mad because I screamed. She's like, "Renee, I'm trying to drive." I was like, "I'm so sorry, but Tara's on the radio. She's on the radio." It was crazy because I heard it. And I was like, "Oh my God, I heard it. It's on the radio."
Yeah. And back then being on the radio was like it's still a big deal, but like, but it was just like, what?
And then Ponytail, that was funny. So Ponytail, I don't even know how I met Sherry, but somehow I met Sherry Smith. And she said, she was working with Frankie, but don't remember how I met Frankie either. But somehow I met Frankie.
You probably met Frankie through, because I met Frank. How did I meet Frankie? Listen, well, Frankie is in there somewhere, but I do remember. Sherry.
Frankie was the producer, but somehow I connected with Frankie and so they said they needed a song, and they said, "Renee, you know the scene from School Days with Good and Bad Hair," and they said they need something like that, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And so I go, I got you. So I tell Terra, school who? She didn't know what School Days was, had never seen, didn't know what
Right.
I was talking about. I told her mother, I was like, can you please go get this was back then you could rent movies. Could you go rent the movie so the girl can just see this scene at least? This is before everything was on YouTube, guys. And so I was like, go get the movie so she can see what I'm talking about. Because I know she can do it. I just need her to know what she's doing. So she goes to the studio and they already had the track, right?
No. I
They
think
didn't have no music
Frankie
yet?
made that track Frankie made that like on the spot, I believe.
So
I
she
believe he
goes to
made
the
it on the spot.
studio and I'm like on the phone with them, like, how's it going? And Terra sat there and wrote the song in the studio. And I'd play it for you guys, but I tried it last night, and sure enough, what I thought happened would happen. And so can't do that, but I'll put the link in the post. But it's
Right.
called I Know I Look Good, parentheses Ponytail. You guys, that song came out so good. I was just like, oh my God.
You know they doing TikTok challenges to that song right now. And then somebody was in the comments and was like, oh my God, this song fire. I'm like, that song like 15 years old. That song is like almost 15 years old? Yeah. Probably older than that. They like doing like a lot of beauty salons use that song on TikTok. If you go on YouTube, it's used in like a lot of dance competitions 15 years later. So that's crazy. And I remember you remember it played on Good Morning America?
No, it was Today's Show. I remember.
Oh, okay, yeah, Today Show. It played on the Today Show. We were
Somebody
going
called
crazy.
and was like, Tara's song is playing on the Today Show. And I was like, no, somebody I think congratulated me. And I was like, I didn't do it. What are you talking about? What? And somehow I ended up seeing the segment, but it was like they were introducing something, and in the background was playing Tara's song.
Yeah.
And we were just like, oh my God. That man never did get to me either, because I tried to reach out to I didn't want no money from I just needed to know, how did you know?
We wanted to know,
How
like, where did you
did you
find
get
the
it?
song? Yeah,
Because
where
this
you
at
find
the
the
time,
song?
you guys, is before YouTube and all this stuff. So this is just a song in Detroit. Like, how in New York are you playing this at? It was a hair show or something. And we're like, never
I
got back.
performed that at the because I think I was doing it for the hair show, for Cool T's hair show. So I
Oh,
performed that at the hair show, and I remember they actually used the song like in the commercials, like on a radio station in Detroit. But yeah, like that song is still going strong 15 years later. That's cool.
but it's the jam. And when I listened to it last night, I knew all the words still too, and was like, wow, I'm impressed with myself.
Yeah, and we gotta listen. It's a cartoon that's on YouTube that kind of took some lyrics. I'm gonna be hollering at y'all. You remember? I sent that to you, Renee, at the beginning, and it's on iTunes. I'm like, oh, y'all got all these views? Okay,
Okay, so
come on.
we're gonna get into that part too, because she knows what she's doing when it comes to that too. But yeah, Ponytail was the first. That was the first song I ever worked with her on, and was like, oh my God. My sister's like, she did what? I said, Liz, she just wrote the song right there in the studio. It's just like, I said, Alicia, when I tell you I knew what I was doing, I know I'm not crazy. This girl got something. I'm not crazy. So from there, we just, I mean, anybody, and actually I had to make the group, I had to make her get on Facebook, I had to make her get on Twitter. No, I had to make her get on Twitter. Facebook, she got on, but what I let her do, I let her have my Facebook login, because I was like, I ain't using the thing. And I think finally, maybe about 6 years ago, I finally got rid of all those people that I was like, who are these people? Because I let her, because
Really?
I had the wherewithal to know that we could really promote if we use
Yeah.
these different platforms. So that's why I was like, let her use my Facebook. I think you had Alicia's login too, and you just friended everybody, and that was when you couldn't have pages, so you could only have 5,000 friends. So
That's why I have two. That's why I have two Facebook pages, because back then, like you said, before the social media era, I remember I dropped the hurricane video, and the hurricane was like big in Detroit. And on my main Terra Lady T Twymon page, I have no idea who those people were. Once that video dropped, my inbox went up, and just like you know, like and you only can have 5,000 friends. So I just accepted everybody. Like, come on. And now that's why I'm really on that Lady T page, because those are people I actually know, like my family and friends.
Right.
But my first page, I have no idea who half of those people are. They just added me because the video dropped, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, so I was just like, I said, yeah, just go ahead. But then Twitter's where I was. I wasn't on Facebook like that. That's why I let her have my login. But Twitter's where I was at. So I was like, you need to get on Twitter. And she fought me tooth and nail. And I'm like, ma'am, I know what I'm talking about. Get on Twitter, please. Do you know how many radio interviews, podcast, all sorts of strange things came because they saw her on Twitter? They saw me saying something about her on Twitter. I was like, I tried to tell you Twitter was where it's at. And then Twitter gets helpful later too. So after Ponytail, what song came next?
Hurricane. But let me tell you something about Twitter right quick. This how you know Renee a good publicist. Because mind you, when Twitter came out, I was like, when Twitter started popping, I started going to Wayne State. I was like 18, 19. As soon as I posted, she would take it down. I'd be like, dang. So listen, all the people back there, y'all know how y'all pull up the old bad tweets? I guarantee you ain't no bad tweets. Because as soon as I say something, Renee, take it down. I'd be like, dang. Renee used to be on me.
No,
okay?
It wasn't even just me. Alicia would text me and be like, did you see what Terra posted? I'm like, no, what? She's like, Renee. I'm like, oh, that's okay. I didn't see.
It was really nothing like too crazy, but they just like, nah, take that down, because
And plus, we had something going here. We were like, we got this. As a matter of fact, when she was in, it was an article about the Pitchfork Music Festival, and that might have been who wrote the article. I don't remember, but it was an article. They compared her to Little Mama, and they actually said she was better. And I was like, whoa. I said, wow. I said, Lish, look. She said, oh my. I said, goodness gracious. We might be onto something. So we just kept moving and plugging. Did you ever have a video for Ponytail?
Yeah, but you can't find it, and I don't want you to find it.
Wow.
But it's on YouTube, because it's so like, oh my God. It's like
I mean, have you seen the beginning episodes of the Ask Dr. Renee show?
Oh man.
When I was using the Target light as my light, and I look like orangish.
Yeah, it was crazy. But it's on there. It's not on my YouTube page, but it's somewhere. You can find it, but yeah, it's a video too.
I couldn't find it. But yeah, so that was that. And then so Hurricane, that video was so, I mean, that was the other thing. The girl would sit there and edit these videos and create these. She did green screen. She did all this stuff. I'm like, what? Well, how are you doing this? What? But Hurricane's video and the dance, it was just ridiculous. Like when I came home, I would see like my friends' kids, and they knew who she was, and they knew. I was like, what? They were like, yeah,
Yeah, that's when like Soulja Boy came out, that cranked that. So everybody was like, you gotta do a dance song. And in the song Hurricane, I tell it, I do not want to do it. I say it in the lyrics, like, I do not want to do it, but I gotta do it. So get inside, set the shades we about to do the Hurricane. Cause like, like with me, I'm like, I like rapping.
She's a real lyric. Like we compared her to MC Light, and that wasn't a joke. We literally were like, the girl's lyrics the lyric sheets were so long. She literally was like MC Light.
Yeah, and Hurricane was just so bubbly. But it worked. So hey, I mean, it worked for the time. It worked for the moment.
It did. Yeah. It did. And Lish is watching now too. And so Hurricane was ridiculous. It was crazy. So then so she puts out, didn't you have the whole album was out before we went to BET, right?
Yeah, we had a you remember we did like a triple single mixtape, a triple threat. That was called Triple Threat. And it was I believe Back Hallway was on there, Hurricane was on there. Shut Your Mouth and Gotta Stay Fresh is on there.
Okay.
Yep. And then we did Hurricane. Then I dropped a mixtape, Born Ready. And then
you skipped over Lady T. What? Terrified.
Oh yeah, Terrified. You right. So Terrified was first before Hurricane.
That's what I thought.
Terrified was before Hurricane, because Terrified came out when I was like 16, so it had to be like 06.
Okay. So yeah, so Terrified, that was the first album that we had worked on with her that she came out with. And who produced on Terrified besides Frankie? Frankie was on that one, right?
Yeah, Frankie did like majority of that, and
That's what I thought.
DJ Magic did some stuff on there as well. Yeah, but yeah, Frankie did majority of that project.
So yeah, so that was it was, and it was like I literally I bought the CD. It came to my place in Chicago, and I opened the liner notes and I saw my name. I was just like, oh, okay. So, but so then 106 in Park is on TV. Everyone knew that was the place to be. And they had Wild Out Wednesdays where they'd have people come and battle. And I'm like, okay, she has to get there. She has to get there. Now, you guys, I am getting so old. I don't remember how it happened, but somehow I got in touch with BET and I got her there. I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember it was I actually auditioned for you remember Princeton from Detroit?
Yeah.
His manager, I remember they had called and was just like, yo, BT here. I'm like, yeah, right. They no, they're not. They not. And then shout out to Nikki, that's her name, Nikki. And I went to audition and I rapped, whoop 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 whoop, and they was just like, yeah, you gonna be on BT. Me knowing me, cause like you get a lot of people that just talk, and we don't like.
Sarah don't believe nothing.
Nothing. I don't care what nobody say. I'm about to Google you. I don't care. I just be like, okay, like I'm a person. I believe it when I see it. So they gave us a piece of paper like, you want to be Renee, see if this is legit. Make sure this is legit. So she did her due diligence, and she like, yeah, it's legit. Like I said, I don't want to announce it on Facebook. I don't want to announce it on Twitter because people do that all the time. They're like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and it never happens. So I'm the type, let's just make sure it's legit. If it's 100% legit, we about to go crazy with the promo. So Renee, she was like, she called, she did her Renee thing, made sure everything was good, and she said it's a go. And after that, we started going crazy with the promotion, and it was lit. The city was lit.
Yes. And so the city got behind they girl. There was posters everywhere. They told everybody you got to vote for her. I mean, everybody knew Tara's going to be on 106 in Park. It was the radio stations were like announcing she going to be on 106 in Park. Mind you guys, we are just working on her two parents working. God bless them. Okay. In regular jobs, thankfully, gainfully employed. We are not, the radio, we're not paying the radio. We're not sliding them nothing. They knew that they had something for Detroit and they got behind it. And so she goes, my sister lived in Jersey. Now I think she lived in Jersey. So I fly to her place. Me and Tara and her mom come in and we go to 106 in Park. How many people did you take the first time?
It was me, probably like 3 or 4 of my friends, and that was it.
Okay.
I know 3 of my friends, you listen.
So we go and we are literally, me and Alicia are in the green room and we are telling everybody, you got to vote now. You got to vote now. We are on Twitter. Got to vote now. Got to vote now. She was trending on Twitter. Our phones were like locking up because we had so many text messages. And what did you perform the first time? Shut it down?
Shut it down the first time.
Mm-hmm. And she literally shut it down. BT said they ain't never seen nothing like that. They were like, what was that? And we were like, well,
the first time, like the first time was cool. And the thing is, of course, like you're nervous, but once you actually on there and you see the studio, you're like, okay, so many people in here. You would think like, now 50 million people probably watching, but right in front of me, you would think it's just like a million people. When I walked in, I said, I do this all the time. This ain't nothing but a show, And I mean, it was crazy. And the second time we went, because of course we won. But the second time we went was even more crazier. Like, I don't even know how I performed because I couldn't hear anything. Like I could not hear, I didn't hear the music or anything. That's how loud it was, Renee. You know, it was so loud. It was so loud. I didn't even hear the track. I think the way that I stayed weak is because I heard the drums. We did a band at that time, and I was just kind of going off the drums, hear no music, like no track at all. That's how loud it was.
And I mean, we could hear in the
So
green room because
yeah,
we're not in the audience. We're in the green room,
yes.
and we could hear what was going on. We're just like, oh my God. And then they were stomping too. What was the name of the song?
It's called Stomping on the Beat. Like it's called
Right.
Like a Sigma. And I had the
Yes.
Sigmas with me. But
Phi Beta
I used to
Sigmas were
tell
there
it,
in the States.
yeah. I used to tell everybody because like when we used to do like our school tours and stuff, like with girls you have to do more. You know, the guys can go on stage and take off their shirt and girls are faint. They don't have to say nothing. With girls, you really have to put on a show. So, you know, with other females, you know, especially back then, girls would look at you like, oh, who is she? Who is she? So before every show, my mom used to make me go out and introduce myself and, just say, hey, my name Lady T, I'm about to perform, yada, yada, yada. And they'd be like, oh, okay. So then when I get on stage, they're like, man, I done met her. She cool. And that's how I'm for real. That's how we used to
Uh-huh.
do it. And I did that same thing the second time I went to 106 Park. When we were standing out there for commercial break, I talked to every single person in the audience. I said, y'all know y'all got to be live, right? I said, we on TV. I said, you got to look good too. And that was the thing. So once that music came on and I looked at them, I said, y'all ready? And they like, yeah. All right, we about to put on the show. And that's how, and that's the reason why we couldn't hear anything. My mom used to make sure before every show that I go out and I talk to the people. And it worked.
It worked. It worked. But yeah, so she literally shut it down. They just were like, oh my goodness. And I mean, you could hear the stomping in the next room. You can hear everything. We're just like, oh my goodness, what is happening over there? But I'm just like steadily typing away, like I can't get the tweets out fast enough. And then
Right.
but yeah, so she received all the votes and it was crazy. Um but yeah, so that was New York City, and it was funny. We did something because I literally left on like a Tuesday and came back to New York that following weekend or something, which is like
It
you might
was
as well just move.
before the second time we went to uh to 106 in Park, we did another contest show for BET. I can't
Yeah,
remember. You remember they gave us a trophy and everything? Yeah.
no, okay,
Blaze the Stage. Blaze the Stage. You remember?
okay. Oh,
It was
no,
called
I
Blaze.
don't.
It was Blaze the Stage, and the producer for 106 in Park, his name, but he invited us to Blaze the Stage,
Gotcha.
and I did that song there. And it was literally probably like 2 or 3 weeks apart. And my mom was talking to my dad like, I'm about to afford all these trips to New York because mind you, I had the Sigmas with me. I it was crazy. But that time my dad actually like rented a van
And
and we
drove. I
drove
remember.
to New York. We drove to New York, and I remember he was so mad because it was raining so hard. And what is it, like a bridge? It's a bridge that separates New
There's a
York
lot
and
of
Jersey because I
bridges.
think we
Yeah.
stayed in Jersey.
Yep. Mhm.
Well, what we drove that we literally was going around in a circle for an hour because we did not know how to get to that side where our apartment was, and where our hotel was. And he was like, you know what? I'm about to pull this car over by the freeway. We just gonna sleep in the car. We gonna sleep in it. It was a crazy night, but it was good memories, and of course we won that show too.
Of course, yeah.
But that was good though because like I remember my uncle telling me like I did a lot of talent shows in Detroit and I lost all of them. And he was just like, "You gonna no for real?" And you used to get so sad. Like I lost to my cousin one time. I was just losing, It was like like he's preparing you for the stage and stage coming. So when we won 106 in Park and we won Blaze the Stage, I was like, oh, that's what he was, And he appreciated more. Sure did appreciate. I really did. So that was good.
Yeah, so it was crazy, insane. we did any and everything, and everyone knew who Lady T was. It was crazy. I will not forget. I was at some after party for Shannon Brown's his festival he had in Chicago, and Yo Yo was there. And I met her and was like, "Hi, hi, I'm nice to meet I'm Dr. Renee." And she's like, "I know you." And I'm like, "You do?" And then no, she didn't know me. I said, "Hi, I'm Dr. Renee." And I said, my artist, her music used to play on your radio or something like that. And she said, "Lady T, I know who that is." And I was like, "Huh?" And I remember I texted her, I was like, "Oh my God, Yo Yo knows who you are." It's just like, wow.
Crazy.
But so 2014, I think it was, because that's the year I started the show. 2014, I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna just focus on me and my sister. Ask Dr. Renee, foodie engineer. That's what we gonna do. Tara got older, and I didn't like the lyrics to her songs anymore. I was like, Alicia, I don't know what your girl doing, but she crazy. So, Alicia's like, she's growing up. She's growing up. Yes.
I'm growing up.
We're just like, this ain't our type of hype. And the funniest thing is, because I represented Terra, I used to get mixtapes and CDs from all these random rappers. And it's not that I'm some prude that can't hear cussing, but oh my God, it was just awful. I was like, no, I can't work with you. No, I can't work with you. No, I can't work with you. Only because they seen that I did Lady T. I was like, oh my God. So then when Terra started, I said, no, I can't. I'm good. Mm-mm. So I said, I'm going to, I said, I quit. No, I ain't doing music. Focus on Ask Dr. Renee. Focus on Foodie Engineer. We be good. And then I went to Cali and I met Steve, and then I got roped into Troop. But so I was like, this is it. But so Tara, after Wayne State, what did you do?
After Wayne State, I moved to Atlanta. So I was going to Atlanta to pursue, keep pursuing my music career. But I ended up going to a real estate webinar. And real estate was supposed to like support my music career, but I end up falling in love with real estate. So that kind of pushed the music, to the back burner. And with real estate, like with me, and that's the name of my company. Like my company is called Accomplish. I have a company called Accomplish Homes and Accomplish Investments. That's why you see the Accomplish T. I get stuff accomplished. And with real estate, that was like the hardest thing to accomplish. It's like I like the challenge, but real estate just kept knocking me on the head, knocking me on the head. When I moved to Atlanta, I was a bartender, and I started bartending, making all types of money. I'm like, yeah, we lit, we good. So I said, I'm gonna quit my bartender job, and I'm about to hop into this real estate market. So I saved up enough money. I said, look, I'm good for 4 months. And it got crazy. And I remember I was
Wait, you went out.
like
You went out. So
competition
after
with real
4 months,
estate.
what happened? Your
Oh my
your
bad.
audio.
Oh, my bad. After 4 months, like I was just like, oh my God, how I'm gonna pay my bills? How I'm gonna pay my bills? I don't know what I'm gonna do. And the market back then in Atlanta is like so competitive. So I was like, you know what? I'm about to start like promoting, my real estate stuff in Alabama. I sent out the letter, and 2 days later, I closed my first deal for like $5,000. I said, "Oh, I'm in the wrong place. I am in the wrong place." So I end up, for real, I end up moving to Alabama, and now I am a real estate agent and a real estate investor as well. I'm actually on my third flip property, and I'm under contract to buy another one in about a month. So that's where we at. That's the new venture. I still do music, like I still do placements and stuff. Like I do, get placements done. I have placements with BT, MTV, but I'm more like, behind the scenes when it comes to the music stuff now. But yeah, right now I'm a real estate investor, and I love it. I flip houses with my parents, my uncles. My uncle is my electrician. My cousin is my plumber, and they're licensed. Okay, so they know what they're doing. My dad, My dad is my painter. My mom is my she's over the interior design of everything, and we just been rocking out ever since.
That's lovely. So the other funny thing, my sister, she knows that one, I don't pay, like, I'm on Instagram, but I'm not on Instagram. I don't pay attention. Alicia sends me reels and stuff to watch. So, but she also knows that I watch most things with no sound on. So she sends me this thing and says, turn your sound on. Okay. And I'm sitting in Chicago, she in Jersey, and I watch this thing. And I go, that sounds like Terra. She goes, Renee, it has to be Terra. And I was like, oh my God. So I text Terra, Terra, is this you? And she's like, yeah. It is for She Fit. Now, anyone who knows me knows I wear She Fit bras, got one on right now, every single day. And have been wearing them every day of the pandemic. And I worked out with them since 2019, maybe 2019 is when I bought the first one. But I love these bras. And coincidentally, the lady's from Michigan, but no shade, but shade. I asked her to be on the show, and for whatever reason, she couldn't be on the show. That's okay though. But she's from Grand Rapids, bless her heart. But, She Fit bras, I love them. And this fool is in the dark. I was like, oh my God. So then I posted it on Facebook. I was just so excited because I was like, I actually buy this product, and here's the girl's song. Blew me away. So that's what she told me about the placement. Huh?
Yeah, I said shout out to Big Keith. Keith, that's my guy. He gets a lot of placements for me and everything. So yeah,
that is just so awesome. And
yeah, then, that was a good one because a lot of people tagged me was tagging me in that one. That was a big one.
And then Alicia, once again, Renee, turn your volume on. It was a video of Allie Love for all my Peloton folks. Allie Love, and the audio for the video said something about let's get ready or something. And I said, Alicia, that sounds like Terra. She goes, I know, right? Because Alicia wasn't convinced that time. So then I text Terra and she goes, that is me. And I was like, but this audio, like, how do you, because, I don't know how to do the IG reels and the TikToks with the special voice, the different voices, because I wanted to grab it, then I would make a video with it, but I couldn't figure out how to get the sound, and maybe I just have to make her record it for me. I don't know, but it was too funny, and I was just like, oh my goodness, Alicia, because then I sent it to her, and I told her, I go, this is like one of my favorite Peloton instructors. And that's you. That's crazy. So it's just insane. But I really do owe a huge thank you to her mother for entrusting us because we didn't know what the hell we were doing. And I was like, I don't understand, but her mother is a woman of faith as I am. And I guess she saw that too, because that was the other thing. We worked really well together because me and her mother would be like, okay, those people are crazy and we need to go this way. And just like she said, we couldn't believe everything everyone said because they might be high as a kite or they might, just stuff could be strange. And, we're dealing with a young girl here. So we were like, no, wait a minute. And then now her mother, I swear the woman really is my age because she would be better in the club than me. I would be with her daddy. Like, can we go?
Yeah, I knew my mama.
Go ahead.
I knew my mama was a real one when I performed. I was at a strip club one day, and she was like the main one. Like, go girl! I'm like, oh my God, yeah, this is getting crazy.
Yeah, I was like,
shut it down or getting thick, and my mama just in there with the girls, and I'm just like, they hype her up. I'm like, yeah, we need to get up out of here, Mommy. Go to bed.
Yeah, I was like, oh my, and so when her dad would come and he'd be with us, I'd be like, thank you, Jesus. And I'd just go stick to her father and be like, because when he was ready to go was usually when I was ready to go. So I was like, we ready yet?
I know.
Me and him would look at each other like,
yes. It's time to go. There ain't no playing with him.
Exactly. And that's why I was like, I'm okay with that. Yes, let's go. So yeah, her mom, I don't even know. Like I said, we didn't know what we were doing. And I told her, I said, but I've never done this. But she was like, no, we can do this. Let's go. I'm like, okay. But literally, as everyone knows, she was the first client of our company. That's how we created it around her. And from her, we've been able to do all the things we've been able to do. That's why I knew what to do with Steve from Troop, and that's why I was able to do the other things I was able to do. We even did. Came to Chicago for an event and hung out with Camille Wimbush from Bernie Mac's
Bernie Mac.
show. They did media together, and it was really cool. But yeah, her mother, like I said, thank you to her, because if she didn't believe in me, I don't know that I would have ever done all of the stuff I've done, which is what has gotten me to where I am now. And but yeah, because I don't know. We'd have been waiting to start that company. I don't know, but I don't. Maybe it would have just been throwing concerts. I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
all in God's plan.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, and then I also hooked her up. Trey Songz was on my flight. I was going to my grandma's funeral, and I saw him at the gate. And he looked like me. It was an early morning flight. We had our hoodies up, like, please don't speak to us, don't know us. And Trey and I have a connection. We have a mutual friend. And so I had text my friend, was like, and my friend, I was like, hey, your boy is here. And she used to work with him. I was like, she goes, well, say something. And I was like, okay. And mind you guys, this is back in the day. I think I don't know what I had in my hair, but I had a bonnet on under a hat, like in the hood. So you couldn't see all that, because I would never go out in public so you could see it. But I was like, oh Lord, let me pull it together. So I pulled the bonnet off, fixed my hair some kind of way. I go over to him, and the look that boy gave me, like, what do you want? And I said who I was. And then it clicked for him who I was. He remembered. Then he was smiling and friendly. So he asked me, was I going to Miami? Yes, I'm going. And what are you going for? I told him my grandma's funeral. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Then he asked me the dates and stuff. This was when Trey Songz was doing the tour with Jay-Z. Me and my sister, had our dates been different, Trey was about to hook us up. I was like, sissy, should we change our plans? Like, I was like, damn. But when we got off the plane, he got off before me, and he passed me, and he said, I'm praying for you and your family. I know it's a sad time. Have a good time with your family, though. I was like, oh, thank you. So we get off the plane, and I saw him, and I thought about it. I said, oh my God, Terra. I said, would you do me a huge favor? Would you just talk to my artist? He was like, sure. That man took my phone from the gate. We were literally walking outside. He still had my phone, was talking to them. I was like, okay, my phone.
I don't remember. Listen, I don't even remember what he said, because I remember we were in Wayne State at the we were all eating. I had all my friends around me, and you called. And my one of my best friends, India, she's like the biggest Trey Songz fan. And that's when like Ready was out. That's when he was just like, yeah. And I put it on speakerphone, and we heard his voice. The only thing we did was scream. And he probably was still talking, but once we heard his voice, it was like, yo, this is Trey. And everybody was looking at us in the lunchroom like, what is going on? But I remember that like it was yesterday. Yeah, that,
I was
that
just
was cool.
like,
That was cool.
I said, well, I'm glad it worked out. And actually he started following me on Twitter after that day, I think. But it was so funny. I was just like, oh, let me call Terra.
Right.
So I was like, well, I'm glad I could help out, even though I missed my concert, but but yeah,
Right.
so I am so proud of Tara, because she is killing the game. When I tell you she got this real estate thing, she's trying to teach me some things, and I still probably need her to teach me some things, because I haven't bought my first or sold anything yet. So, but yeah, she, and I think she's gonna go global. Like, okay, you got Alabama, you got to start moving up to the D, and then New York, Chicago.
We got a whole movement going. I'm filming right now, so be looking out for some content for sure.
Where can they find this content? Let's make sure we let them know.
You can find the content when it comes on my YouTube page. It's Lady T20, LADYTE
Okay, hold on.
20.
I'm having some trouble here. There we go. YouTube.com/Lady T20. Okay. And there we go. So everybody,
There you go.
please subscribe to her channel. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. We all know how very important that is. Subscribe to her channel. Give her some views. You can watch watch and hear the songs that we were talking about because they're all there. The hurricane video is there, and so is stomping like a Sigma. That was that was good. Like
Yep.
a Sigma was very that I watched it last night again and was like, wow, this was so good. But yeah, so you got to check it out. And she does have some performances on there too. So you can check out some performances as well. But thank you so much for giving me your time this afternoon. And for those that watched live, thank you. And those that watched the replay, always remember to put hashtag replay. And if you have any questions, whatever comments, please type them in the comments. We like comments too. And thank you. Shout out to, of course, my money team, Draka and Ashley, my trading sisters. Thank you guys for watching. We gonna get Terra trading, you guys. Okay. I just want now y'all see who she is.
I'm
She gonna
coming.
watch. Yes.
I'm coming, y'all. Like
She
soon as
I think she's seen your episodes, Draka and Ashley. So she knows about options. She knows about future. She coming. She coming.
I am.
Coming down
I
with the group.
promise you, I am.
Yeah, lady, she came to me with the Forex, and I was like, no, we don't do Forex. We do options and futures, and it's a different thing. And so she gonna understand that she could buy a whole house with just one trade, right, Ashley? So
Come on. I did my first options. We'll talk about it, but I did do my first options trade. Now futures, I still don't understand, but I get options. Like I actually get it. That I actually get. So we'll talk about it.
Options was very, very quick that I got it too. But Ashley and Draka is the long-term options queen. Leaps, like she'll buy an option contract that expires 2-3 years from now, but when it expires, then it's made. It's like 5 figures. And then Ashley, she don't like them long term. She does weekly and dailies. That girl can turn $50 into 4 figures by the end of the day.
Yeah. So yeah, send me the information. I promise. I'm ready.
Yes.
Let's get some money.
Ashley, Ashley, she was on the show 2 weeks ago. In case y'all didn't see it, Ashley was in my class in September 2020. She was in my options class. Now she is the director of the program. And she got that title in, I think, March or April of 2021. That's what kind of beast mode the girl is on.
Woo.
And she was posting this week. One of her students got 5 G's off of that Netflix when it started plummeting. 5 G's in a day.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, in case if y'all, there's a whole playlist of financial education on my channel if you want to hear what I'm talking about. And you want to get this money, because I'm telling you, there's money out there to be had, and she's about to have a new options class. So, but I will see you guys next week. Next week, I'm so excited. We have Raquel Herring, and if you don't know who that is, Raquel we just found out, not the first Black female on Mickey Mouse Club, but the second apparently. But I was a huge Mickey Mouse Club fan, and Raquel was on that, and she was on Star Search too. So I'm very excited. She's going to be joining me next week, and you can hear her story. I will see you guys next week. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm losing my mind. This week is National Infertility Awareness Week starting on Monday. And so I will be doing lives all week. So as long as you have clicked the notification bell, you'll see when I go live. But we're going to talk about all the things infertility. We'll talk about the male factor as well as the women's factor. We'll talk about the options, the treatment. We're going to have doctors. We're going to have great stories of success stories as well. So please tune in. We're going to be on Monday through Saturday next week with shows. And I'm so excited. And I will see you guys on Monday, I guess. Bye.